Here is a 12-inch Oddball high velocity fan that I recently acquired from Amazon, and the blade design is kind of a weird one. It's kind of like that blade design that you see on the Comfort Zone, the one that's kind of like a flat blade design that don't have no pitch to it. I'll show you what it could look like. Kind of like this right here. It's like this blade right here. That weird looking blade that you see on all the new fans that don't already have no pitch. But it's kind of like a blown up version. It's like a real big version of it on a 12-inch. That's the first time I've ever seen them put that blade on a 12-inch fan. And pretty soon it's going to move over to the 18s. It's going to move over to the 20s. Which is really unfortunate because that blade don't move much air. But we're going to see how this machine does with that blade design that don't hardly have no pitch. That's the first, because most 12-inch fans don't come with that. So this is kind of an oddball. So let's unbox it and let's see what we're dealing with. Should be happy. And video. Here we go. Here we go, give this garbage that they always give me. Now I'm also thinking about acquiring the only other size that it comes in, and that's size 18. I want to get that for the studio table. And this one right here is for over there by the computer. But the 18-inch model is going to be for the computer table, and that'll be coming on Friday. So get ready for a video about the 18-inch model. No, it don't have that same weird blade design. It has the typical pointed tip blade design that you see on most high velocity fans today. It looks very similar to that of the patent blade design, and you'll see that on Friday. All right, let's unbox this, and here we go. They give you some fasteners to tighten up the fan head, because the fan head might be loose, so that's nice of them to do that. They care enough to give you that. the blade I was talking about. Remember that? It looks like it's welded together, but it's held on by a screw. This is like a blown up version. This is a big version of that blade that you usually see on the little baby 9-inch. And the exact same blade design. It's a little bit different. It doesn't have that weird design on the edge of it. But here we go with this blade now appearing on 12 inches. Pretty soon the 18, pretty soon the 20-inch models. So far, thank goodness that on the 18-inch version of this, it doesn't have this blade. Thank goodness it has a standard riveted blade, and you'll see that on Friday. It looks very similar to the pattern. You'll see that on Friday. Here's the manual, but they did somewhat of a freak show in the manual. It's not that bad, but here's your Wind Master 12-inch manual, high velocity fan manual. Okay, you know the drill. I'm gonna go ahead and set this up on the table, and then we'll get you guys back and we're gonna run it and see how it operates with that weird blade design. That's the biggest version of that blade yet. So far, it's been appearing on all these stinking 9-inch high velocity fans, now on the 12. So we're gonna see how that works. Hold on. Okay, so I ran it off camera just to see how it does, and it does really good. The blade is fairly well balanced. It's not out of whack. There's a little bit of vibration, typical vibration like movement, like you can feel the blade moving, but it's nothing crazy like Alaska or whatever. So I'm surprised they managed to get it that well balanced. And it has a decent motor on it as well. It's relatively quiet on low and medium. Even at high speed, it's quiet. I know Jordan likes quiet fans, but he's not into modern fans, so I'm almost certain that he probably won't get nothing like this. He'd rather get something vintage than, modern. I can understand that. But yeah, this runs really well. So we're gonna run it, and here we go. We're gonna start on all 3 speeds. It starts off with low, then medium, then high. So here we go. It does have a very faint startup sound to it and a very faint whine or humming sound. Very faint. I like the way the camera makes the blade look, but the blade is spinning faster than that. You should be able to hear just a very gentle breeze on the camera. So there's that. Let's take it up to medium. Interestingly enough, I'm surprised this blade actually does move a good amount of air. I wish they would have gave that much power to the 9-inch versions with that same blade on there, so it can drive air. Interestingly enough, on the 9-inch ones, these blades are pretty much screwed in, and then there's like a little plastic piece that it fits over, and it's screwed into the hub. But on this one, on the plastic hub, on this one, the blades are actually riveted. There's 2 rivets, and then the third is not a rivet. It's actually that little plastic stem or a piece that it actually sits over or it attaches to. And so what they did was they riveted the blades into the plastic hub. So I thought that was quite interesting. A little bit different. So I guess Windmaster or Pampy or whoever these folks is had it designed like that. That's pretty cool. It's really oddball. Never seen one like this with that blade on there. Usually get down on all the 9 inches. All right, let's move it up to over here. Maybe you guys can hear the wind stream a little bit better. Let's move it up to high speed or full power. Oh yeah, you can barely feel this thing resonating to the table. Like, there's really no resonating at all. It's relatively quiet. You guys can hear the wind stream. This thing is moving a lot of air with that same blade, slightly designed different, with the same manufacturer. So let's see what happens if it ever makes it to the 18 or the 20 inch. Wow. But right now it's on the 12. Of course, the 18 inch model has the same kind of blade set that you would find on the Perfect Air one I have, which is the pointed tip, looks very similar to Patton, which is a typical blade that you put on all the 18s. It only comes in two sizes, 12 and 18. Spin down time is okay. It's a brand new fan. You got to give it time for the oil to break in. But at the same time, you have to understand that it's not a ball bearing motor, and those blades are pretty much not all that heavy. So just take all that into consideration. The last time I had a Windmaster up, I don't know if you guys can recall this, when I had that 20-inch Windmaster box fan, you remember that? And I told you, and that real thin, had them skinny plastic blades, and one of them snapped off, and that whole debacle. I haven't had one of these since then, so it just came out with the high velocity fans. In their series, they only produced only two sizes, 12 and 18, so you'll see the 18 on Friday. All right, let's spin it down. Don't be too surprised. You gotta give it time to break in. And that's typical for the reasons I told you. The blade is not that heavy, that's number one. Number two, the oil has to break into the bearings. And there's number three. Number three, it's not a ball bearing motor. So for all three of those reasons, that's why. But the airflow is decent. I'm surprised with that blade design, the airflow is decent. I never thought I'd see the day that that same blade design you see on all these little 9 inches, which we call a rear blade design, will appear on a 12. Next thing you know, it's going to be on an 18 or 20. Anyway, so there you go. There's that. Everybody should be happy. I'm happy. I'm happy you're back. I'm happy you came out of retirement. I'm so glad you're back. Wow, happy about that. New fan video, cool. I'm happy now, I'm content. All right, thanks for watching. More videos will come soon. The Fan Man and out. God willing. All right, here it is now being used over here by the computer. Windmaster by Panty trademark. With that blade. And it actually does have a little faint scarf sound whine to it. And low speed is not harsh. It's actually gentle, but it moves a ton of air. Very impressed with it. You should get one of these, Jordan. You should really go with the 18-inch model, but this 12-inch model is quiet, so I would say go with both of them like I am, bro. All right, thanks for watching. I'm out the Fan Man and out.